Greetings from Vietnam. My name is Quynh Nhu, and thank you for saving your time on my paper in this year's OpenTESOL conference. It's entitled Evaluating a Vocational English Curriculum, What Can Be Adapted? These are the five main contents in my presentation. Firstly, let me introduce the context of the study. The current era of fast globalization and evolving workplace demands has urged vocational English education increasingly. In this context, vocational English curricula, specially designed to equip students with language skills essential for specific occupations, play a vital role in facilitating successful transitions from education to employment. However, a critical gap exists in understanding how to effectively design and adapt these curricula to specific contexts, particularly within Asian vocational education systems. Therefore, this study offers a comprehensive evaluation of a vocational English curriculum's strengths and weaknesses to inform curriculum development and policy decisions. Moving on to the theoretical background that I based on. For this study, I've adopted the model stochastic bination and McAllister, which consists of three outer circles and a subdivided inner circle, as you can see on the screen. An advantage of this model is that the components connect to each other and have a mutual influence in the development process. Generally speaking, curriculum is not a unique entity, but a set of complex components connected together. However, language educational practices do not always occur following this framework. In reality, there exist several cases that courses are conducted in the absence of some stages, and the current study aims to document the possible limitations and also strengths of an existing English curricula at a vocational institution for a better adaptation. Now, here comes the methodology. This study adopted a mixed methods approach to evaluate higher industrial college English curriculum. This method includes document analysis, aims to analyze the existing vocational English curriculum documents, such as course syllabi, learning objectives, and assessment criteria. In addition, this study also reviewed industry-related materials and workplace requirements to determine the alignments between the curriculum's contents and the authentic language demands of the target vocational fields. Furthermore, a standardized English layman's test were administered to 115 students to assess their overall English proficiency. Besides, semi-structured interviews were conducted with 21 stakeholders, including 6 ESB teachers, 3 college administrators, 6 employees, and 6 employers from related industries. These integrations of quantitative and qualitative data allowed for the identification of specific areas for improvements and adaptation. Now, moving on to the findings and discussion. Let me summarize the evaluations of the college English curriculum. First, The institution's language policy prioritizes qualified English lecturers, and ongoing supports for professional development is evident. HIC's English departments comprises diverse qualifications, including 1 PhD, 7 masters. As stipulated by the college project, all English teachers are required to attain level C1, see in the CEFR. In this sense, the college demonstrates strengths in the content elements of the model with respect to teacher quality. Second, the college significant investments in teaching facilities, including high-speed internet, modern classrooms, language laboratories, online resources, and library upgrades, reflects a commitment to facilitating effective language instructions and learning. Firstly, despite the mentioned strengths, the curriculum's time allocation presents a potential weakness. The reductions of contact hours from the MOACs prescribes 180 to 165 hours raises concerns about whether the program provides adequate time for content delivery. And therefore, I believe that there is a weakness of the program. Next, testing and assessment practices at HIC present areas for improvement. The emphasis on assignments and examinations without speaking tests may limit the development of practical communication skills and fail to adequately measure the students' ability to use English in real-world contexts. How about the curriculum developments? Firstly, the top-down approach, which prioritizes predetermined learning outcomes and methodology, without thoroughly assessing the learner's needs, potentially undermines the principle of needs analysis within the process elements. This represents a significant area for improvements. Secondly, the reliance on traditional methods and the avoidance of communicative language teaching implies a need to re-evaluate the curriculum's process. With respect to the materials, the pre-intermediate new cutting-edge are reported beyond students' reach despite being listed as suitable for CEFR A1 to C2 level. Moreover, placement test data reveals a significant gap between graduates' actual English proficiency and the B1 targets. Approximately 70% of HIC graduates fail to meet the required English language proficiency standard. Most of the participants were basic users, A1 and A2. In the meanwhile, those attaining pre-intermediate level, A2 to B1 accounted for very low percentage, only 2.2%, and none reached higher English proficiency. The analysis of recruitment documents from the participating industry revealed a consistent prioritization of English proficiency as a crucial criterion for employment, and the recognitions that a skilled workforce with strong English proficiency is essential for successful international collaboration. In addition, the interview with industry representatives like employees and employers reinforced the importance of English for successful jobs performance. They also highlighted a need for a more industry-relevant vocabulary, communication, and reports writing in English. However, the ESP teacher admitted the lack of sources used in order to bring industry's real-life requirements into classroom, and how they did not feel that they have helped the student to become ready for the requirements that industry has in current context. Generally speaking, they identify the gaps between the English curriculum and industry requirements point to a need for a curriculum that places emphasis on contents that provides students with more language-focused learnings and improves their vocational English competence to engage effectively. In conclusion, the current English curriculum at HEIC presents a mixed picture when evaluated through the lens of Nation and McAllister's model. While the institution demonstrates in teacher qualifications and resources, there still exist significant areas for improvements, particularly regarding curriculum design, assessment practices, methodology, time allocation, and the alignment to the industry needs. To improve curriculum effectiveness and adaptability, the study recommends conducting thorough needs analysis incorporating students, employers, and industry input using diverse data and triangulation methods. It also suggests revising learning objectives and content to align with these needs, enhancing assessments to include the speaking test and workplace tasks, providing targeted professional development in communicative teaching methods, and then strengthening collaboration with industry to maintain curriculum relevance. And that's all for my presentation. Thank you so much for your time.